Welcome to Telegraphy's Skyrim Starter Guide. This is intended for people that have never played the game before or have not played it for a long time. With the release of Skyrim Anniversary Edition, there has been a renewed interest in this 10-year-old game. A game I have played now for 10 years, at least one playthrough a year, and have a really silly amount of hours in the game. So I know it pretty well, and hopefully my hints and tips will help new players and returning players alike. There are 10 different playable races in Skyrim. They are Argonian, Bosmer, Breton, Dunmer, High Elf, Imperial, Khajiit, Nord, Orc and Redguard. Each race has its own pros and cons, and you should read through all of the details before you decide your race. For this playthrough I've decided to play a Nord, simply because Nords are the natives to the area and I like Nords. So please welcome Nordy Le Nord. So let's get started. The first part of the game is cinematic, so you have no real control, but it's quite an interesting part of the story, and it's important to understand the story, I think, before you start playing the game. This was recorded using Anniversary Edition without any mods, and I highly recommend for people playing for the first time not to use mods. Just enjoy the game as it was meant to be before you start really improving it with mods. The modding community is amazing. They create some amazing mods, and I know people will want to rush to get into them, but really try the game without any mods first.
What do you see?
I'm just enjoying now the dragon arriving. You know, this is an amazing piece of cinematic gaming. As soon as you have to try and escape from Helgen. Follow Stormcloaks into the tower and almost get burnt to pieces by a dragon. Jumping through a building, at the moment your hands are still tied, so you can't pick anything up, so it's literally just following it through until you meet Helgen, who is the Imperial. You follow him until Helgen and Ralph meet up and have a little argument, and at this point you can decide whether you want to go the Imperial or the Stormcloaks. I follow the Imperials simply because when you get to Riverwood, bit of a spoiler there, but you get to a place called Riverwood and it will affect who will help you, and I prefer the person helping me that is linked to Imperials. I'll explain why when we get there. So go around the chests and get some gear, because at the moment you're just wearing rags. Collect as much as you can.
Let's keep moving.
If you're playing survival mode, or if you're going to play survival mode, it will affect how much you can carry, so be aware of that. But if you're not playing survival mode, grab as much as you can carry, because what you're not going to use you can always sell. So Helgen then leads you through into the next area, and it's a good idea to make sure you're fully equipped at this stage, and you can favourite the magic that you want to use and the weapons you want to use, or even the armour, you know, so you can decide what you're going to be wearing, and not that it gives you a lot of choice. And then you have a fight with a couple of Stormcloaks. It shouldn't be that difficult to fight. I find the fire helps, it just softens them up a bit. It's the greatest weapon in the world. Skyrim glitched out there a little bit. Alright, so after you do the wonderful kill cam, then you can loot them. And again, my personal recommendation is to take as much as you can carry, because what you're not going to use you can sell. Also, if you're going to be playing survival mode, the fur gauntlets and the boots will be very useful. The same with the food. You know, if you're not playing survival mode, it's not worth a lot, so it's up to you whether you take it or not. But if you are playing survival mode, grab as much food as you can because it's quite crucial to the game. And then you come through and you have another little fight with a couple of more storm cloaks, different room. All the time you can just follow the map pointer on the top there to show you which way to go. Once you've dispatched the 2 storm cloaks, you can then loot them and loot the area as well. In this room there is some good things to get. The first thing is some potions in this barrel, always helpful, keep you alive. And have a look around because there are potions on the shelves, and there's a bit of gold normally in some of the drawers, a bit of bread on the table. And if you're going to be doing survival mode or alchemy, it's worth collecting any ingredients. Some ingredients are pretty low value, some are worth quite a bit, so even if you're not doing alchemy, sometimes it's worth picking up ingredients because they can make you a lot of gold. Again, if you're doing survival, take the rabbits. When you come down into the torture chamber, here you can have a little fight with a couple more. Get in there. Storm cloaks, and you know, bearing in mind your weight, loot them. You know, two-handed weapons do weigh quite a lot, so be aware of that. It's very easy to come quickly over encumbered. There's also lots of weapons around, so you can really find a weapon that fits your play style. You know, if you want to play a two-handed, then there's an axe or a sword. If you want to play one-handed, there's swords or maces. There's shields. You know, you pick what you want. If you go and stand by this cage, Hagvar will have a conversation, and then eventually he has a conversation with the torturer, and then he eventually says, "What's in that cage?" Now,
don't bother with that.
you've just picked up 2 lockpicks, but if you wait for him to say that, he will then give you another 12 lockpicks, and you can pick the lock on the cage.
Sure. Take all my things, please.
And take what's inside. Yeah, there's normally a little bit of gold, a spell book, a magic potion, and of course the robes and hood that the mage inside is wearing. You know, even if you're not planning to play a mage, you can take it either to sell or to disenchant later, and we'll come on to disenchanting at another point. So, also looking backpacks like that. So we picked up a spell book, and the way to deal with spell books is you have to go into your inventory and use it, which allows you to read it, and then you've learned a new spell. Then you go down a little corridor that's got cells on either side. The second on the right always has a bit of gold in it, and always loot the skeletons. They must have special pockets or something, because generally some of, you know, there's a high chance they've got gold in them. Again, keep following Hagvar. He's leading you on the way out, although you don't really, neither of you really know the way out. And keep following him, and you come to another area with some storm cloaks in. Be careful they don't ambush you from the side. It's easy to just run in and not notice those 2 coming up. So take them down, perhaps a bit more elegantly than I am here. Fight him eventually. And then if you run over this side, there's a couple of archers. Now, don't get too close. If you use some flames, they're standing in oil, so you can take them out quite quickly, both of them. So again, you know, do a bit of healing, heal up. Loot the bodies. The 2 archers grab the bows, or at least one bow and some arrows, because they will be useful. Even if you're playing in survival mode, even if it means you're getting rid of something else, take the bow, because it will be very useful. So he's got 8 arrows and a longbow on him. You noticed I'm leaving the heavy two-handed weapons because gold to weight, they're not very efficient way of making gold. So you follow it down and you find a little lever and you have to open that, and that takes you across down into this area. Now the map pointer is pointed to go straight on there, but if you turn right and pop up here, you can find some gold, another skeleton that, funny enough, has got gold in his magic pockets, and a healing potion. So you come back out of there and you're back then following the map pointer at the top. There's Hagvar waiting for you, and you come down and there's another little pouch of gold. We'll have that, thank you very much. Right, then switch to, I find here switching to the bow a lot easier. Don't want to get too close to these spiders. There's 3 spiders in the room, and let's see if I can hit it. No, missed. Let's see if we can hit it again. Yes, got it. Right, okay, moving on. Hagvar was being a bit of an idiot and what's going on. That's quite normal. Excuse me. So then we follow this down. Before we follow it down, actually, just pop up the top here, and in these is spider eggs. They're very low weight, but they're worth quite a bit. If you want to do alchemy, they're quite useful. If you don't want to do alchemy, you can sell them. If you search the spiders, you will find some venom. That will be useful in a minute. So grab some of that, grab that, and some more of that, and just follow Hagvar down. Now, as you go over this bridge, if you turn left and go up, you can find there is a potion and a dagger. Yeah. Again, sellable items or usable items.
Hold up.
Right, at this point, if you haven't got a bow, Hagvar will give you one, but I had a bow, so I'm just going to apply some poison to the bow. This will help. Now, there's a bear there in the distance.
I'd rather not.
You should be able to take it down with 2 shots, especially if you've got the poison. There you go, sneak attack. And kill cat. So, yeah, and I've got a skills increase, that's quite nice. Grab the wine, merely to get it out of the way, but again, it's sellable. But more importantly, there was a coin pouch there. Make sure you grab the grab your arrow and the skin, and you may as well grab the bear claws. Again, sellable if you're not doing alchemy, but if you are, then it's worth having. And out we come, and straight away it offers you the opportunity to go into survival mode. Survival mode is extremely difficult. It makes things a lot more difficult and the game a lot slower. So things that are important in survival mode that you need to be aware of is that there's no fast travel. You have to walk or get a carriage or ride a horse everywhere. There is it halves your carry weight. You need food. There's no health regen. You have to heal yourself, and you need to sleep. Now, if you choose not to do it initially and then decide later, I wouldn't mind, you can go on in and switch it on. If you want to then switch it off again, you can't switch it on within that save. You'd have to start a new character.
Looks like he's gone for
so at this point, Hagvar
but I don't think we
says,
should
"Oh, it's all fine. You know, let's go to Riverwood. I've got an uncle who's a blacksmith there. I'm sure he'll help you." But he then goes on to say, "We should split up." But you never do really split up. You just follow it.
See that ruin up there?
And then he points out to you Bleak Falls Barrow. That will be quite important in the next video. It gets mentioned a few times in this video, so it's worth knowing where it is. There it is at the top of the hill, and you keep following him down till you come to the standing stones.
These are the guardian stones.
These standing
Three of the
stones,
13 ancient standing
as he's
stones that
saying
dot
there, there's
Skyrim's
13 of them. So these are
Go
3
ahead,
of them, there's
see
another
for
10.
yourself.
They give you buffs to your ability to learn particular skills. So, you know, mage skill for magic stuff, thief skill for the sneaking and things like that, and then warrior for, you know, one-handed, two-handed, heavy armor and all that style of stuff. I'm going to choose the warrior stone because
I knew you shouldn't have been
kind of playing a warrior in this little bit. So it lights up quite nicely, you know, quite pretty. Done quite a nice job on that. And you follow Akbar again, and as you come down, you know, and look on the side of the road for ingredients. You can collect ingredients just as you're walking along, and then you get a couple more wolves. Epic foul there. Epic foul there, get a bit closer, make sure the arrows won't disappear before. Oh, I'm doing really well here. Got it! Right, okay. And that one's standing there, not doing anything, and not hittable by the looks of it. Right. Let's get a little bit closer. Watching out for that other one. Oh, now he's decided to move. And they're running in the wrong direction. So, but it's up to my sneak a little bit. That's good. And here they come. Oh, ouch. 1 down. Ouch. 2 down. 3. Yeah, 3 down. Okay, so again, skin the buggers. Take their pelts. Creaky chair, sorry about that. Yeah, take their pelts because they're going to be useful later. So then we head down into Riverwood and
Uncle Alba.
follow Alvar to meet his uncle Alvar. It's a good Nord name.
What happened to you, boy?
Yeah, and they'll have a little greeting,
Some kind of trouble.
Keep your
chat
voice
for a little
down.
bit,
Fine,
and then
but we should go
you
inside to talk.
you get invited into
What's going
the
on?
house.
And who's this?
He's a friend. Saved my life, in fact. Come on, I'll explain
First of all, he
everything,
asks
but
who
we need
you
to go
are,
inside.
then you get invited into the house.
Okay, come inside then. Sigrid will get you something to eat. And you can
And
tell
once you get inside, there's a whole talky bit.
Any friend of Hadvar's is a
Hadvar
friend of
explaining
mine.
everything going on, and
Glad
then
to help
Alvar
wherever I can.
says, "Any friend of
Like I said,
Hadvar's a friend of
I'm
mine,
glad to help in any way I can.
and I'm glad to help in any
But
way I
need your
can.
help.
But we need your help."
Need your
And
help.
at that point, his inventory opens, and you can take everything if you want. I generally take most stuff except his tunic because it's fairly worthless. And this is randomized, so you don't always get the same thing. Nice little health potion, ring of health there, so that's quite useful. And you know, if you're playing survival mode, the food's important. If you're not,
The Jarl
it's up to
needs
you whether
know
you take
there's
it
a
or not,
dragon on the
based
loose.
on your carry weight, I
Riverwood is
suppose.
defenseless.
You know,
We
the
need to
wine
get
is
word to
quite
Jarl
reasonable
Balgruuf in
profit
Whiterun to
per
send
weight.
whatever soldiers he can. If you'll
The
do
cheese
that
and
for me,
apples, not so much.
be in your debt.
So he then asks you go to Whiterun to tell the Jarl what's going on, but you don't have to go straight away. First of all, you can rob him blind, and you know, anything that is not marked as steal, you can take, and that's quite a bit of gold, daggers, arrows, food, even some armor, but not the bow. You can take the arrows but not the bow. If you take the bow, they will turn hostile because they're stealing. I mean, you could go into sneak mode and see if you can get away with it, but to be quite honest, it's not worth it because we're going to get just as good a bow in a minute anyway. So From there, pop over to Riverwood Trading. Have a little chat with them. They'll give you a quest because someone's stolen something from them.
Theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear
So
it.
listen to their conversation and then just see what they have going on.
Sorry you had to hear that.
And then you can speak to them.
Well, I don't know what you
Ask
overheard,
if something
but
happened,
the
and if you do
Riverwood
that,
Trader is still
he'll tell you
open.
about
Feel
the
free
claw
to
that's
shop.
been stolen.
Yeah,
and
we did have a bit of a break.
You can offer
We still have plenty to
get
sell.
it for him.
Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament.
He's a
Solid
good salesman
gold,
because he's
the
just
shape
still
of a
going on. We've
dragon's
got plenty
claw.
to sell. It's just one thing they were after.
You could.
You
I've
go,
got some
and
coin coming in from
he
my
offers
last
you
shipment.
gold if you bring it
It's
back.
yours if you bring my claw back.
It's a way to
When
make
you
some
get
gold.
those thieves, you should head to Bleak Falls Barrow,
So this is your
northeast of
plan,
town.
Lucan?
Yes.
So
So now
then
you don't have to go, do you?
they'll have a little chat.
Oh, really?
and
Well, I think your new helper
Camilla,
here needs a guide.
Camilla will offer to show you
No, I-
where Bleak Falls Barrow
Mighty
is.
ain't
You've already
fine,
kind
but
of
only
seen
to
where
the
it
edge of
is
town.
with Hagbar, but yeah. So at the moment you can't take anything from the shop. Everything is set still. So follow Camilla along to the end, and she'll
This is the
point
bridge
it
out
out
of town.
where to
The path up the
go.
mountain to the northwest leads to Bleak Falls Barrow.
And then depending
I
on
guess I
what
should
time
get
of day
back
it
to my
is,
brother. He'll
you can
throw a fit
either
if I take too long. Such
carry
a
on
child.
doing some bits. This is quite late here now for
Mara
me.
bless you for agreeing to help
When I
us.
got to this point in the game, so after speaking to
Well, it's a
Camilla,
winding road up the mountain just ahead.
I'm
You'll
going to
know
head
you're in
back
the right
and get some
place
sleep.
once you
Now I
spot the
can
old
go
watchtower.
back to
Once you get to
Alvar's
the tower,
as long as
head
it's
north.
not too late. If it
Bleak
gets too
Falls Barrow
late,
should be
they
just
lock the
around the
door.
corner
But
further
as long
on.
as it's not too late, you can get back into Alvar's and sleep at night. There's Bleak Falls Barrow on your map,
Lucan
so
and I
you
will
know
be
where to
waiting
go.
for you back in the shop.
So go back to Alvar's and
Take what you need, my friend.
yeah, get some
Within
sleep.
reason, of course.
It's nice.
Now, if you're playing survival mode, that's really important. If you're not playing survival mode, it just gets
You're
it to the
looking for
point
a
where
new
the
blade?
shops are open again for you, so you can then sell all that stuff
The
that you picked
finest
up. You
weapons
can
and
sell it
armor.
off. So yeah, so you can have a quick look at what he's got. You probably won't be able to afford much of it because you've not got a lot of gold at the moment, and things are quite expensive. The steel stuff is quite expensive. So sell off all your stuff that you picked up that you don't want. So yeah, I'm a sword swinger, so get rid of everything. I'm going to keep the bow because it's always useful to have a bow. And if you've got a lot of one item, sell it one at a time, and that increases your speech skill quicker. And you know, speech skill increase means you'll get more for each item you sell. So it's worth selling one at a time. As boring as it is to go click one down, but yeah, you sell them all off one at a time. All the stuff that you don't want. Yeah, and we've got all that leather to use up as well. So just keep selling it all. Now I kept a pair of fur gauntlets because if you're playing survival mode, they are the best gauntlets to have, except for steel this early in the game because they're more valuable. So yeah, just keep selling all the items all the time. Once you get down to 5, it won't bring up the slider, it just goes next. So that's me sold all my stuff, and yeah, I made a couple of hundred gold off that, so that's quite handy. It'll certainly pay for a room at the inn. And then you can
Yes,
help around the
actually.
forge, and this is worth
How about
doing
you
simply
smith me
because
an
it
iron
helps you
dagger?
learn
Here's
about
everything you need to make one.
the
Go
smithing
ahead.
methods, but also at the end of it he'll let you keep
Alright.
the items, so you've got something else to sell. So first of all he asks you to create a steel dagger, and it gives you the bits to create it. In fact, it gives you more than you need, so you gain some stuff out of it as well for crafting. So create a steel dagger, go back to him, say, oh, I've made the steel dagger, and he'll ask you to go and sharpen the steel dagger.
But it's a little dull.
Then you
How about you
pop off
sharpen it
over
up?
to the
Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there.
grindstone with a bit of metal, which he gives you, a lump of steel, iron, and you can sharpen the dagger. And that, when you improve a dagger, it actually makes it its damage higher.
You the sneaky type?
So
Got some nice daggers
it's worth
around.
doing it.
This
I've
looks
sharpened the
good.
dagger. You say
Put
to
time
him,
into your blades. They'll serve you well when you need them.
he gives you a
Want to
bit of
keep
praise.
helping? How about you make
Good
some
boy,
armor?
well done.
Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack. Good day.
And then he'll ask you to tan some leather on the rack, and he'll give you a deer skin to tan. So you tan that. Yeah, it creates 2 leather. Go back to him, and he'll
looking for
ask
a
you
new
to make a
blade?
hide helmet.
Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps.
Again,
fittings,
not many people
that
wear
kind of thing.
hide helmets, although
Let's see
they
if you can make a hide
Early on
helmet.
in the game, they're a
Here's the rest of
reasonable
what you
level
need.
of armor. They're just not very good on warp for survival
Aye.
mode. So you make your hide helmet and the hide, and there it is. You see, it takes 1 strip and 2 pieces of leather, and he's giving you more leather than that. So you
I
go back
can
to him
forge
and
you a
say,
warhammer that-
"Here's the hide helmet." He
I
says,
should
"Oh,
hire
that's
you
great,
to be
but,
my assistant at
why
this
don't you
rate.
make it a bit better and
Let's
temper it?"
improve the fit.
So you
Take
have to
this
then
leather
go
to the
to
workbench
the
over there.
bench
Aye.
and temper it. So find that and just select improve. And again, that increases
Yes?
the amount of damage protection
Take what
it
you
will
need,
give.
my
So
friend.
again, it's worth doing.
You have
Also
talent.
increases its
Keep
worth.
working at your
So
craft.
when you come to sell
You'll
it,
be a
it's
fine
worth.
smith one day. Why don't you
So-
keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you'll remember me when you're making Skyforge steel, huh?
There you go. He gives you both items. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the reason I go Imperial, so that I can snaffle all these up. I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that,
Got
I
some
like
nice
that.
daggers
And
around
they
here somewhere.
respawn, so you can come back in a couple of weeks and they'll be there again, and you can take them again. So it's a nice continuous supply of iron and steel, which
Riverwood's
early in the
reasonable
game are
enough, I
quite
suppose.
common, but they get
For a northern
rarer
village.
later in the game because most of the blacksmiths only sell
He's
other
a
ores.
bard, so
Um,
he says.
So go
Occasionally
and have a
he
little
finds
chat
time
with
to do his
Fendar,
job here at the mill.
and he'll tell you that
Thinks his
Sven
ballads and
thinks
sonnets
he's a
are going to convince
bard and
Camilla
he's in love with
Valerius to
Camilla,
marry him.
but they're both in
As if
love with
she
Camilla.
would
We've got a
say
little
yes.
triangle going on here, so
An
he's come
intelligent,
up with a
beautiful
plan.
woman like her wouldn't fall for that
First of all,
nonsense.
he's tried convincing himself that there's no way she would fall for him. And you point out that he's being a bit, taking a bit of a risk there.
I've been
So he says,
maybe
"Well, I've
Camilla
got this
needs a little
plan.
help
Maybe
seeing
you
Sven for
can
what
do
he
something
is.
for me." And he'll
Could you-
give you a letter
Could you give her
to
this
take to
letter
Camilla.
and say it's from Sven? I think I've matched that Nord's lack of cleverness perfectly.
And pretend it's from Sven as one of his poems. Before we do that, though, we'll grab an axe and we're going to chop some wood, because I did notice I only had 5 arrows left, so let's make some arrows. So first of all, we'll chop some wood. And the axes are laying around. There's 2 or 3 around by the mill. You can just pick them up, but they're not steel items, so you won't get in trouble for stealing them. So once you've chopped the wood, we can run off to the forge again. Here we are back at the forge, and we can make some arrows because we've got iron and we've got wood. So they're the 2 items we need to make arrows. So we can make 48 arrows. That gives us 50 odd arrows. And even in survival mode, that's only a 5 weight carry. So back into Riverwood Trader and go and see
More
Camilla
bless you for agreeing to help, lad. You're a
give her a
strapping
letter.
young man.
And personally, I
Don't be a
always lie to
stranger.
her because I want Fendar as my
Another
follower.
poem, I bet.
He's
He does know how to
a
make a
archery
girl
trainer,
blush.
and he's got his own
What's
house.
this? If that oaf thinks
Which
all
you
I'm
can
going to do
roll.
is stay in that filthy house of his and clean,
So, she's
You can tell
unimpressed.
Sven
She
that he
believes
already
you
has
that
a
it is
mother.
from Sven,
I'm
and
not
she's
speaking
not very
to him
impressed.
anymore.
So straight back to Fendar and let him know the good news. Is he up there? No, there he is.
Tell me,
Right.
River was
So
agreeable enough,
give
I
him the good
suppose.
news,
I
and he'll
appreciate
give you a
your
bit of
help.
gold.
Please, take this.
Not a lot,
Some
but a little
gold I
bit of
saved up
gold,
from
and it
working
all
in the mill.
helps at the moment.
Lead the way.
And then you can ask him to follow you, and at that point,
Still here.
you can then go into
What do you want me to
trade
carry?
things with him and take his house key. You can take
Lead on.
anything from him, but you know it's best to leave him with a weapon. But we're going to Fendar's house, and you know we can take anything. There's loads of foods if you're playing survival mode. There's some more pelts. You know, you can in the chest. There's more pelts, and you know, pretty lucked out on this game is some hunter backpacks, which is something I would have been making if I hadn't have found these. So we'll take the backpacks. We'll use 2 of them. We'll sell 2 of them. Now there's a hunter's bow that's much better than the longbow, but we'll take the other stuff. The shield is better than the shield we've got. There's some potions. Check the drawers. Nothing in there we want. It's not worth it. Weight per gold. There's another axe there if we wanted to take an axe. Nothing really in there, but more herbs, so we can take the herbs for the alchemy, and then there's some gold in there, so I have that. Thank you very much. More gold or healing potion, that's quite useful. Occasionally some things are marked if there's some really expensive items, because it's random loot in the chests. If there's expensive items, occasionally they're marked as steal.
I'm right behind
If you
you.
just take him outside, ask
do you
him
want
to
me to
wait,
carry?
come back inside, crouch, steal it, Bob's your uncle. So you can give him a backpack which will increase his carry weight as well. So you've both got
going then?
backpacks now, and as you can see that's increased the carry weight by 75 for you. Now if you're in survival mode, that's a godsend, because that's half the weight that you lost. Right, if you go down by, as you're exiting Riverwood, just on the left by the salmon is a fishing supply, and there's a rod there and a book, and if you equip the rod you can go fishing. It's not the most exciting of things, but again, if you're playing survival mode, it's food that you can cook and eat. If you're not playing survival mode, you can always sell them, but if you keep fishing, then you know when you cast excuse me, when you cast there is a some bubbles, and that means there's fish still there. So and pull in when the rod starts bending, you press A and then bring it in. So cast again, and saw a few little bubbles, so we're likely to get a fish this time as well. 1, 2, 3, there it goes, and bring it in. Yeah, and we've got a River Betty, which is an alchemy ingredient. Now this time when we cast, no bubbles, so that means it's fished out as far as fishing is concerned, but it's worth fishing a little bit longer, because you never know what you're going to pull out. There you go, hook, 3, there it is, and oh no, we did get another fish, pogfish. Okay, I didn't see the ripples when we cast. They are still there, so that's what, 4 fish we've had so far out of here. Yeah, that's 4 meals. Oh, it's tugging away, I say, this is not the most exciting, and it's a new addition with anniversary, but it's useful for role play. And you can find some nice things sometimes. So you never know what you're going to pull out. So didn't have any ripples that time. So yeah, there we go. It's all fished out. There's a tankard, but we'll just give it one more little cast. Just see what we can pull out. Oh wow, unique item, nice. So then we head down towards Whiterun. You will get attacked by at least one wolf on the way down. And when you get down to the bottom here, there's always a few butterflies. Great alchemy ingredients for health potions and potions of magic. And for each one you grab, you get 2 wings, so that's 2 potions you can create. Yellow ones are for health, blue ones are for magic, blue flowers for magic. So keep going. Some more blue butterflies, and there you go, there's a yellow butterfly. They're just called butterflies. And as you keep going on the left hand side, the companions are having a fight with a giant, so give them a bit of a hand, throw a couple of arrows in there. I wouldn't get too close. A couple of times I've got close up to do combat, I've ended up fighting the companions and dying, so I always use a bow. And if you've helped, she'll be nice and say you'll make a decent shield brother, and if you don't, she'll make some sarcastic comment.
Never heard of the companions?
Alia the Huntress.
We are brothers and sisters in honor.
So that's the companions. You'll meet them again later in the game, and you can join them. They're a joinable faction.
You'll have to talk to Codlack
They give you some quests, and they've got a storyline. Don't want to give too much away.
He can look in your eyes.
It's a bit of a howler of a storyline.
If you go to him, good luck.
And all the people that know Skyrim are going, oh, at that joke. So as you get just outside the gates, you will meet the Khajiit caravan. You don't get the best of prices from Khajiit caravans, but early in the game, it's one of the best places to find lockpicks, so it's worth going to them purely for the lockpicks. You know, most places might sell 1 or 2 lockpicks, but they have them in bulk. Now they're not cheap, you know, 6 gold each, and we don't want to blow all that gold at once, so just gonna buy, oh no, 15 will do nicely. So yeah, there's 15 lockpicks. And then we get to the front gate and we get stopped by the guard. Now on this, there's lots of options. You can try and bribe your way in, you can try and intimidate, you can come back later, you can just tell them that Riverwood calls for aid, but if you choose to persuade, you always get a skill increase, and that's enough for us to level up. So before we've even done anything major, we've gone up a level. And as you come in, go up the stairs on the left, and you'll find this couple arguing outside their house.
I can't get the sword on my own.
A couple of red guards.
Starve your wife and daughter to reclaim
And
some
she was really giving it to him. You got
Just need to hire
after that sword, and it's over between us, you know. And he's like, well, I just need to hire a couple of people, you know. It's a big deal, you know. Oh, you're bigger, so we won't have any money. Typical domestic debate. So if you speak to him, he'll tell you about his sword,
My
and
sapper
you
doesn't
can
like that I've been
offer
spending
to
so
help
much time
find
looking
it.
for my father's old sword. He fed his
you do, you
entire
bring it back
family with
to
the gold
him.
he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy.
And it, you know, puts another location on your map,
I
because he'll
tracked
tell
to
you
a
where
group
to
of
find it.
bandits nearby, but I'm no fool.
So
I'd
you
need the
can go
Whiterun
and
guards or maybe hire the
get that
companions
for him
to
at some point,
I don't know why I'm saying
and you'll
this,
get
but If you find it out in your
one-handed
travels,
and
I'd be
block
grateful to.
increase if you do that, so that's kind of worth doing.
If you find that
Off we
sword,
go.
it's up here.
Supplies are
Now,
scarce
if you
at
speak
the
to
moment.
Carlotta,
Life's hard enough with all
she'll
these
tell you all
many
about how men all love
But
her
that
and
bard
how
is the
everyone
worst.
wants to get her in the sack.
That bard
You ask if
Mikhail
someone's
is
given her
begging
trouble
for a
and she'll
dagger
tell
up
you that
against his
Mikhail,
throat, the way he
the
goes on
bard,
about
is.
me.
He's a bit of
I
a
heard him boasting
player,
of bannered
old
mare,
Mikhail.
saying he'll conquer me
So
as a
you
true
can offer
Nord
to have a
conquers
little
any
word with
harsh
him.
beast.
Yeah,
If you want to try, go right ahead.
see if you
I
can
don't
get him
think
to
anything will get
leave her
through that
alone.
thick skull of his, though.
So that's another little quest for us. So we go up to Dragon Reach now, and here we are in Dragon Reach. Eventually loading in. Yep, there it is. And go up, and straight away
What's the meaning of this interruption?
Idorith will stop you and question you. Now, if you say you've got news from Helgen, she'll let you straight through. If you say the other option, you then have to explain yourself. So, depends how much dialogue you want to go through. And then you have a little chat with Jarl Balgriff. And you can admit that you're about to have your head cut off, and he'll comment on that about your criminal past. Or you can just say, destroyed Helgen, it's coming this way, and little conversation will happen between them now that you can listen to. Or if you click on him, it will take you past this, so you don't have to listen to it all, but it gives you a bit of backstory. So it can be worth doing.
I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my
I'll
people.
not stand idly by.
Send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my young.
So once that's done,
I'll return to my duties.
Proventus
That
buggers
would be
off,
best.
and
Well done. You sought me
you
out
can
on your
get
own
congratulated for
You've done what
going and seeing him on your own
I won't
initiative, which
forget
you hadn't really done because you got asked to,
Take
but hey,
this as a small
yeah,
token of my esteem.
let's not worry about things like that because you get given a bit of armour, and it can be a bit of light armour or it can be a bit of steel armour. It's again random between the two.
Come, let's go
It's
find
normally
Fire
either
God,
studded
my
imperial
court
or
wizard.
steel armour. I
He's been looking
think
into a
it
matter
may
related to
be
this
affected by
dragon
what
and
your
rumors of dragons.
best stat is on armour, heavy or light.
Farengar,
So then you have
I
to
think
go and
I found
see
someone who can help you with your
Farengar.
dragon project.
Now he's a rude
Go
little
ahead and
bugger.
fill him in with all the details.
He warms up to you, but initially he's quite arrogant, and the urge to punch him in the face
So
is
the owl
there.
thinks you can be of use to me.
Oh
yes, he must be referring to my research
So,
into
yeah.
the dragon.
You have a
Yes,
little chat
I
with
need
him.
someone to fetch something for me. Well,
He asks you to
when
go
I
and
say
fetch something.
I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Ah, no mere
And, you know,
mercenary,
you-
but a thinker. Perhaps even a
Not
scholar. You
merely
see,
a mere
when the
brute.
stories of dragons began to circulate,
So, yeah,
many dismissed them
You can
as
go and
mere
fetch some
fantasy,
stuff for
rumors,
him.
impossibility.
And bizarrely
One sure
enough,
mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience.
he
as
wants you
being
to go to
impossible.
Bleak Falls
I
Barrow as
began
well.
to
So that's
search
two
for
quests now
information about
that want you to go
dragons.
to Bleak
Where
Falls
had they gone all
Barrow.
those years ago?
And both
Where were they coming
have got
from?
reasonably good rewards, so it's worth doing Bleak Falls
learned
Barrow
of a certain
next.
stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone said to contain
A lot of people are like,
dragon
oh,
arrows.
but I want to just go off and explore. I understand that, I totally do. And you can, there's nothing stopping you. You can now just stop the main quest, ignore it, just go and do your own thing. But
An old tomb.
your character's going to be very low level and you're going to struggle to do things. You'll be able to do them, but they'll be a lot harder. This is, the advantage of doing Bleak Falls Barrow, and the bit that follows that is it does help you level up enough to get to the point where you can go and do the other side quests and just ignore the main quest if you want to for now, or you can carry on with the main quest, although I would recommend after you do
I believe I am.
Bleak
yes.
Falls Barrier and the bit that follows that you do some side quests to help you level up even more, the grind as such, before doing the main quest, because it ramps up in difficulty quite quickly. So the only option I've asked is, are there any other wizards in Whiterun? And the reason I've done that is because I know that he will give me a little task that can make me a little bit of money. So it will give me some frost salts to take to Arcadia.
This is a priority.
So we'll have a little chat with the Jarl. Hello.
Dragons. We need it quickly.
Nice sword.
Too late. Of course, Jarl Balgruuf.
Sorry, I want to talk to you from this side, not that side. Your neck was crooked a bit the other way. Succeed in this and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in my debt. Well, Riverwood's in my debt, Whiterun's in my debt. We're doing good. Yeah, everyone owes me. Right, so he's got an alchemy lab, so we can try making a few potions. And as I said, butterfly wing and blue flower makes health potion. And now I've been playing this game modded for so long, I can't remember any of the other potions. So we'll have a go. Let's see if we can find something that makes a potion.
Your job is to offer me counsel. Listen, this is not counsel.
Blue butterfly with red flower? No, I could have sworn that was magic, but okay, maybe wrong. The other thing you can do is eat the ingredients, and you can learn the first element of what they do by eating the ingredient. No, I'm not doing very well here. Don't think anything else goes with blue butterfly.
Just for a few days, it could tip the scales in the Empire's favor.
No, okay.
The companions can help
So
protect the city from the
let's
Empire.
try.
I thought you were
Just
already on your
remember
way to
bear
Bleak
claws
Falls.
and purple flower. Yes. So that's a stamina potion. Anyway, so that's alchemy.
You tried mercenary work?
Right. So now, if you speak to the
Mister, could you
beggars
spare a coin?
and give them a
Thank
gold
you.
piece,
Vines, bless
they
your
will give
kind
you a
heart.
blessing. And what that blessing does is it increases
Until
your
next time.
speech by 10 points. So
Once I've made enough money trading with the before my mom
have a little chat with this young lady. She wants a mammoth tusk. Let's not ask why she wants mammoth
I met
tusk.
one of
We
the
don't
caravan
want to
leaders,
know.
Madron. He said he'd help me get started if I could bring him a
But
mammoth
yeah,
tusk.
she's a bit of a
Easier
strange
said than
one, this
done.
one.
You do
But you
that?
know, if you help her, she'll like
If
say,
you
well,
find
if you
one,
get
I
a
can
mammoth
teach you a
tusk,
thing or
bring
two
it to me
about
and I'll
trading.
teach you a little bit
Help you
about
get a fair
trading,
bargain in the future?
which is a speech increase, speech skill increase. So, and you're sure to come across mammoth tusks, so it's worth having that quest so that you can get something out of those mammoth tusks, otherwise in a bit of gold. So let's speak to
Carlotta put you up to
Jarl.
this, didn't she? I'm sorry. but that
Now,
fire
remember we've got
was
that plus
mine.
10 on our speech,
Just
because we gave the beggar a piece of gold. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this at this level
I
and
guess I
use
just
the
didn't want anyone
persuade.
to think I
That's
couldn't
actually
handle
upped
one
our
lord once.
speech again by doing
On my
that, so
honor,
that's pretty
I
good.
won't
And we're
bother
now
Carlotta
22
ever again.
speech, which means we'll make more money. So I'll go back to her and say, we sorted him out,
Convinced that
he's
loot player to
dealt
stop
with,
chasing me?
and she'll give you some gold.
I'll settle for things
Quite a
from you.
reasonable amount of gold
Here's
for
some
your
coin
level
for
as
your
well.
help.
So it's worth doing. If you do that at a slightly higher level, you might get 400 gold. Right. So we've got all those pelts. So let's make something with all these pelts, and because rather than just lugging them around. So yeah, we'll make some leather and some strips and go to the thing. And I think we've got enough to make a full set of leather armor, which is better than what we've got. I think we might have enough to improve it as well. I want to get rid of that iron sword as well and get a steel sword if possible before doing Bleak Falls Barrow. We'll probably find a steel sword in there, but that's after we've killed a few things. So some leather braces. There you go. Improved all that, so that gives me better armor protection. So let's equip all that. and then what we were wearing we can give to our follower. It looks alright. It's light armour.
Still here.
It's not ideal for a Nord, but
What do you want me to
in
carry?
my opinion Nords look better in heavy armour, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, go. We can give all that to him. I've taken my armour off. Let's put that back on. And yeah, so that's. Oh, there you go. There's a fur gauntlets. We're giving them as
Get going
well.
then.
Keep his hands warm because we're not playing survival mode. So if we were playing survival mode, I wouldn't have given them to him
I'm sure
because
you'll
I
find what you're looking
want to keep them for myself to keep my hands
let
warm
me
when
know.
we're in colder
I can
climates.
swim
And you know, pop round, we have a little chat with the
I don't
blacksmith, and
claim
we
to
can sell us some
finest
stuff.
weapons and armor.
Because we've got some stuff left over. Keep the fishing rod, just in case we find enough fishing site. But the dagger that we made earlier can go. One of the swords can go. The longbow can go because we've got a hunting bow now. We'll keep the axe. They're quite useful to have around. The hide helmet that we made earlier, that can go. The backpacks we don't need. You could keep them just in case you get another follower, but you know it's going to be a while, and even so you can only have one follower at a time, so you can take the backpack off for the person that you had the backpack. So yeah, we've used up quite a lot of our resources making that armor. Let's have a look and see what she's got. Oh, she's got a steel sword. We'll buy that. 130 gold. It's not too bad. And as you can see, it does one more damage, but when you smith it up, it improves a lot more than the iron does. So there you go. So our equipment now is hunting bow and steel sword. We could do a bit of improvement on that, and we've got enough level up. So now, if I'd not bought that sword, you can look at different things, and you just choose the perk you want to take. It will probably be that perk, but let's have a little think and a little look. If I'd not bought that sword, I might have done smithing so I could make a steel sword, because at the moment I can only make iron stuff. If I took the perk, I could then make steel stuff. But no, I think yeah, I could do sneaky, light armor, archery. But yeah, one-handed. I think we'll do one-handed. So that's the one-handed there, and out we go.
I think I got the clean mug around here somewhere.
We'll go back and
If
see
it's what you need,
and
how about
we can,
shopping
that firewood
honest
that we
gold
got
for
left from
honest
what we
work?
chopped earlier. Let's sell that to her. That's 20 gold.
Here, take a look
Can
at
ask her
this.
if there's any
Some of the
work, 'cause
yard's
she's
men
good
came by
source
and
of
left this
finding
bounty.
out if there's any work or not. And we can rent a room if we want there.
Sure thing. It's
Now,
yours for a day.
if you sleep out in
Let's sate that appetite,
and see if she's got any food that we want to buy, or we could sell her the food that we found. I'm holding on to the honey brew mead, and I'll explain that another time. But yeah, so
I'll show you to you.
let's reduce our weight a little bit, and you know we've got a room off her, so we'll sleep till the morning. So we start nice and fresh, especially if you're playing survival mode. Really important. And you get a better, you get a well-rested bonus, which means your skills increase better if you sleep in a bed in an inn or a bed you own. If you sleep out in the wilderness or someone else's bed, then I think you only get 5%.
Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Syria.
So yeah, we dropped the frost salts off from Farengard, and she give it us.
Splendid.
She's a bit weird. She's creating a love elixir
A love elixir like none
for
other.
Farengard.
Maybe I'll test it on
It
foreign
floats your
guys
boat,
first.
but
Oh, but I
yeah,
suppose
so
you expect some compensation. Here, these potions
we're
should
nearly
suffice.
ready to go to
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Bleakful Barrow, but we're going to stop there. I don't want to make these videos too long, so it's the first hour, but you know, it's about 2 hours of gameplay really, for you to get to that point. But you're now ready for Bleak Falls Barrow, so good luck with that, and I will see you soon for the next one. Take care everyone, bye.